think also just one more thing, like being more interactive in the book. Okay. So, for example, like when you're on the price sheet. So when it comes to whatever, I don't know like parts of it. When it comes to high quality cutlery, like I can also provide a variety of quality prices. Coco's top rates we're only going to compare to the highest quality brand. So here I have a price comparison for my top competitors, Stock and Shoe. Have you heard of them before? Yes. Okay, great. So these overseas brands are the top selling brands in stores, and then whatever. So like when you say the price, you can actually put it here like that. You have the price and buy on sale for $2,000. There's a lot of big differences, whatever. Then when you go to the Cutco part, you see like how if you go here, where it says in comparison, Cutco has a unique wedge lock handle.
Yeah, it's crazy sock night. Most y'all didn't even wear socks. Oh, nice. That's pretty wild. It's crazy. I got Nikes on. Yeah, it's alright. I got them too. No, I got my crazy socks in my bag. Alright. Maybe we're gonna have to get started here in a second. So you're good. You're crushing it. Hey, Alana, was that helpful?
Yeah, that was good.
Cool. Thanks, Amy. Alright. We're gonna go ahead and kick things off. I don't know, so the AC broke in the whole building, which is why.
It's not even a month.
Yeah, I get hot really easily, so I'm probably gonna complain, no one else is. But anyways, actually none. All right. So we'll get things started here. Let me just have a let's have you also have just these first four rows here. Cool. So a couple quick tips. I'm gonna go to this. I think Andres and Alana, you guys got the meat of it. Probably sit down one-on-one. Bryce, Julio, you guys got some free passes for tonight. But okay, I might have someone quiz you in the middle of the phone jam here, so make sure you're all ready. Can I see someone's actually, this blue book sucks. Can I see someone else's blue book? Let me just go ahead and review just the common things that I see, just so you all know and are aware one more time, okay? First thing is that, like, I mean, the biggest thing about when you're doing the, you actually get a manual. So the first thing that I really commonly notice is just, again, one thing is like just listen to the nonverbals, okay? Like speed. Okay, this is very, some people in here talk fast. I talk very fast. So when one common mistake that people make is they just start kind of like rushing through it too. And that's one thing that's important to remember is like even on your phone calls. You at one point in time have said this information many times, but it's the first time that they are actually hearing the information. So you gotta like slow it down and walk them through it slowly here. Specifically, just to give you all a couple examples. Yeah. This chair here. Whatever. So let's see here. Okay. Biggest thing is knowing what page to be on, by the way, like while you're walking through it. So you're walking the customer slowly. It should be very, very low pressure. It should be pretty relaxed while you're doing it, right? One big thing is when you start off, okay? Does everyone know what pages you're supposed to be on at each section? All right, so the default is always being on the homemaker set page. So you finish the blocks, you finish the, you know, I don't know, the kitchen tools, entertainer pack, flip over to Hey Miss Jones, and just go ahead and review why so many customers choose to invest in a set of Cutco. You always have sharp, comfortable, safe knives that are, American-made knives that are comfortable, safe, and sanitary. Walk through the options, cool. Then when it says, when it comes to high-quality cutlery, it's like anything else, there's a wide variety of prices and quality available. Cutco's top rated, Miss Jones, so we only compare it to the highest quality brands. And flipping over to the Woosoff and Shoe comparison sheet. And by the way, okay, does anyone ever, when you feel like it, you feel kind of weird because it sounds like very scripted? Okay. One thing I'll tell you is the more that you get this down, the less scripted it sounds, okay? Like if I did the approach for you all right now, you would have literally no idea that anything I'm saying is scripted. It would just sound like I'm just talking to you, okay? And that's because that's exactly how it's designed, but you have to actually get the word and verbiage down first before you can kind of get to that point. So making sure on this price, what's the first number we write down? 4,000, okay? And when do we write it down?
When you say it doesn't quite cost 4,000.
Nope.
Yeah,
So-
the great thing.
so yeah.
that doesn't cost?
Nope, that's not what
Now
you're
you
down.
would think it costs double the price or something.
Yeah, exactly. So the first time that's why I asked. By the way, it's a common mistake. So you say, hey, Miss Jones, at twice the price, you'd be talking over $4,000 for a set of Cutco. So let me go ahead and show you what you get, okay? And then you go into talking about the prices. You write down $4,000 first, and then you say, hey, Miss Jones, the great thing is that it doesn't cost quite $4,000, and then that's when you start the crossing out process and write down the other prices. So that's the first thing, is knowing when to write down the prices. Second thing, the other big thing is just making sure it's like visual for the customers. Like, first thing is that if you don't write down the prices, okay? And I know people commonly forget to do this, because I know I forgot on several of my first few appointments to just write down. I was like, oh shit, I don't have a piece of paper. Like, I'll just say it, okay? But I don't even care if you have to write on the back of something. Write down on something, because again, a confused mind always says no. And if you don't write down prices, I promise you, like, sometimes you get lucky, but like outside of that, it's gonna be really hard to actually make a sale and close it. Biggest thing too is actually writing down the prices big. If you have really crappy handwriting, focusing actually on making sure that it like looks good while you're writing it, and writing it big, and then turning it around to the customer so they can see it visually. Another big thing, so most people, when they first start writing, they write a bad handwriting, they write it small, and they write it like on a sheet of paper in the corner, and then don't even turn it to the customer. So making sure you're writing a big across, big over 4,000, turn around. Michelle, let me go ahead and we'll show you what you get, okay? As I said earlier, and then you're flipping back to this page. You're not staying here. You said, as I said earlier, Miss Jones, our Homemaker Plus date set is our most popular set. It's perfect for families that cook 2 to 3 times a week. Again, it's like your tone when you're here. You're not like hyping this up like it's the biggest, baddest thing in the world. Right? Like Miss Jones, our Homemaker set, perfect for families that cook 2 to 3 times a week. So you should be enthusiastic, but like here's it's pretty like just chill. So hey, Miss Jones, as I said earlier, our Homemaker Plus date set is the most popular set. It's perfect for families that cook 2 to 3 times a week. Has the 10 basic tools I explained earlier. Your 8 table knives, a solid oak wood block, and a sharpener for your straight edges, Miss Jones. You can also get the Homemaker set without the table knives. Now, if you were considering a set of Cutco, which set would you prefer? With the table knives?
With the table.
All right, awesome, Miss Jones. Well, the great thing, and by the way, one of the reasons you asked that question is, again, it's kind of like a either or question versus yes or no. A bunch of small yeses add up to a what? Big yes at the end. Cool, right? So, hey, Miss Jones, the great thing is it doesn't cost quite $4,000. In fact, it doesn't even cost as much as the Woosah for Shoon price that we looked at earlier, which were $3,000. The Cutco Homemaker Plus date set, Miss Jones, is actually only $1,273, paid in full, which includes shipping. But what most of our customers do, Miss Jones, they just take advantage of our 5-month interest-free investment option. So it actually would only be $275 today, and that includes tax. Plus, if you got this set, Miss Jones, I can actually hook you up with the kitchen tools, the entertainer pack, or the super shears really liked earlier for free. Which one did you like the best, by the way?
The kitchen.
The kitchen tools. Okay. So, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I want to be doing my job. I didn't ask you this question. Did you want to go ahead and try out the Homemaker set today and receive your free pair of kitchen tools? Right, and smile and the head nod and again, most of this stuff should be reviewed, but oftentimes after you've done your first couple, like you forget some of these key little things too that all impact it too. So just remember those things, and as you get, you've got a little more in your belt, right? Like you're gonna have a little more confidence going into them. So it's like actively focus on these things. One big thing is try not to focus on everything all at once. Just see if like, hey, I know I did that bad last time, so can you just like 1 or 2 small things? Common mistakes that reps will make is they'll try to just fix everything and do everything perfect all at once. So just implement a couple of small things at a time. If you know you're messing up on a few things, you just get a little bit better each and every single time. Questions?
Question.
Yes.
So you know it's like 1273 and it's 275 for 5 months. 275 times 5 is 1270. So is
Because it's add tax. Yep, 1273 includes the shipping, but does not include tax.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's 7% sales tax. That's why it's 275.
Okay.
Yeah, so 275 is the exact amount. Anytime we give you as 5 pays, it's the exact amount, including tax, any of that good stuff too.
Okay.
So all it is just it's 1273 plus a $12 admin fee for the 5 pay for the credit card processing, then tax divided by 5.
Okay.
That's all that's happening there too. Good
That's what I
question.
didn't understand. When I was inputting in orders, the 12 admin fee.
Yeah, so that's a credit card processing fee. So there's no interest charge for multiple payments, but there is a credit card processing fee. So if you have if it's over 2 months, it's a $3 fee. If it's over 6 months, over 3 months, it's a $6 fee, and it's over 5 months, it's a $12 fee. Yeah, that's the only thing that they actually need to worry about too, though. But just budgeting options for the family. They can obviously pay for in full, but just makes it usually easier for the average Joe. Cool. All right, let's dive in here. Let's talk about the meat of today. So hopefully you guys are going over that, working on those things. Again, making sure that you have gone over and getting good at page 16 too. We'll do a review of that a little bit later. Tonight, I want to talk to you all about something that's pretty important because I think we have a lot of area of opportunity here. And tonight is kind of about, I'm going to teach you guys our Focus 5, and you're going to have your first phone jam, like official phone jam at the office. Now, y'all kind of made some calls here and there. Monday, you made some calls when you were training. This will be your first like real like phone jam. That we have in the office. So I'm going to teach you guys kind of how to phone jam and how to do it well. And here's one thing that I'll tell you all about, okay? If you master the calls, if you master the phone, okay, you master the game, all right? Ultimately, like for me, I was never a big fan of the phone, right? In fact, it was actually the only part of the job that like I wasn't the biggest fan of. Like when I always had phone, actually I'm just seeing customers kind of food, and I'm like, wow, I just made like a couple $100 in an hour sitting down with the Jones. That was fun. Okay, but I was like, yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of the phones, okay? But here's the deal. A couple quick things. If you master the phones, number one, the rest of the job gets real, real easy and really, really fun. Second thing is you have, like, you're being paid your highest per hour when you're actually on the phones. That is when you are actually creating the results for yourself. When you're booking up your appointments, like, and I'm not going to waste everyone's time doing the math right now, but if you broke down the math here, okay, like, and how much you made per presentation that you're doing, how much on average you sell, like a lot of I always have our top sales reps do this. It's like they'll literally break it down to like, hey, how much do they sell on average per appointment? What commission level are they at, right? So how much do they make on average per appointment? How many appointments do they have to make set on average to complete one, right? And just break down all through the numbers. So like literally how much money they make per phone number that they dial. Literally, so every single button, right? So when you turn your perspective of like, hey, my phone is like, the money making machine. Okay, we come on Wednesday nights and we shake our money makers, which are our phones. That like you'll figure out, like I said, like the real keys to the job too. So if you can get good at the phones, it makes everything a whole hell of a lot easier. So I want to give you all some keys on how to make it easier, how to have more success on your appointments and on the phone, and give you some keys here. So first thing we want to get down your notes today, okay, is the Focus 5. Focus 5, which are basically, okay, the 5 things that you want to have out whenever you are making phone calls in the office. If you look around at our assistant managers, they'll probably all have these out anytime they're making calls as well. Some of it's already hanging up on the board too. Now, you already know a lot of these things. So what is one of the first things that you want to have, or what is one thing that you want to have out when you're making phone calls?
Numbers.
Okay, yeah, so the actual people that you're calling, which we call now a what list?
Right.
TAC list. That's right. Okay. What's another thing you want to have out when you're making phone calls?
Like the script of videos.
Yep. So the approach. So the phone approach. What else do you need?
What do you mean by approach?
Like the phone approach, like what you're saying to people on the phone? The actual words. Anything else?
Enthusiastic voice.
That's important to have, but not necessarily one of the Focus 5. This is actually a physical thing that you want to have out.
When you put like when you're gonna do the appointment.
Yeah, so your schedule, right? So that you know like when you're available for the appointments. Schedule is pretty important. And then what are 2 other things? These are a little bit more. Y'all might not get all these.
Kind of write it down.
Pen is important. Anything else? Okay, one of them you can put down right here is going to be your firm up / objections. I know you guys don't know that one yet, and I'll just give you all the last one, which is your phone tracker. Cool. So let me go ahead and walk you all through these real quickly. First one is attack list. Why is that important?
To know who you're gonna call.
Yeah, to know who you're going to call, okay? So number one, and it's not just important to, by the way, have some numbers to call. Like, obviously, you need that to actually be able to call anyone, okay? But why is it important to actually take the time to probably put it onto, like, a physical list? We talked about this a little bit in advanced training. So you can remember, what else?
Keep track of who you call.
Okay, keeping track of it and being organized. What else does it mean? It makes it easier to do what? Makes it easier to just go down the list, right? Be more efficient with your actual phone time, right? Like I said, the example I gave in Monday Advanced Training is that, like, a lot of representatives will like be in the office like 3 times as long as someone else just to book up the exact same amount of appointments. And it's not because like because like their customers are better or easier to book. It's just because they are actually a lot more efficient with their time, right? Whereas a lot of reps will sit there, they'll make one call, They wait like 5-10 minutes, think about the next person they're going to call, and they call that person, you know, and just go down the list. And the advice I tell people, right, is that you want to make sure you take the time to put it on a tack list, because that way it takes out the thinking for you. You don't have to think about it. You just literally go down the list. Okay, that person answered, on to the next person. That person didn't answer, text them, on to the next person. And it just makes it a whole lot easier because you just go down the straight list. So you plan out who you're going to call before you actually get into the office versus like trying to get here and then trying to figure out, all right, I can call this person, and now I guess I'll call that person, and then I think my mom texted me one, so then I can call that person, okay, and that just becomes really, really inefficient here. So being organized with it, your attack list, by the way, eventually just becomes your recommendations, and it will just become all your recommendations formatted together. But as you all know, I walked through like the 4 gears of Cutco for the actual assignment here, so that's something you guys want to be focused on. Focus on tonight, your top 10 acquaintances, right, your best virtuals, any cancellations or reschedules from your first weekend, anyone else in your initial list that you haven't seen yet, and the bonus, of course, is any recommendations that you've gotten so far from people from like list 2 and 3, or specifically from any directors or lists maybe that you've gone along the way here too. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. Here's the other thing I'll give you guys in terms of the tack list, okay? Do you all know how many calls approximately you should be making like on like an hour?
Like 100.
All right, you don't need to make 100 calls in an hour. That would be almost possible.
6.
Okay.
40.
Okay, so 20 to 30 is what we recommend, okay? 20 to 30. Now, I love that you guys had super high numbers and goals, okay? 40, 100 is a little bit unrealistic in an hour, right? Now, maybe if no one answered, you could try to shoot that. But let me just tell you guys, okay? So whenever we call someone, if they don't answer, we always double tap, right? It takes 28 seconds total to double tap someone. That means, like, if you call someone, they don't answer, you hang up right away, call them right back again, okay? It takes 28 total seconds on average. So that means realistically, okay, you can call about 20 people in 10 minutes if no one actually answered the phone. So if no one's answering, like, you should be able to get out a lot of calls too. Now, I don't think you're actually gonna make 20 calls in 10 minutes, but you should be able to get 20 calls over the course of an entire hour, right? If you don't, then you're just really being inefficient with your time. Now, by the way, when you actually talk to people on the phone, you book up the appointments, it takes longer. That's like a 5-minute call or so if you're having a good, you know, maybe building some rapport and having a good call when you're actually booking up the presentation with them too. But, you know, sometimes a lot of people are like, oh, no one's answering the phones, and like they made 6 calls that hour. It's like, all right, well, that means that you made a call every like 12, 13 minutes and then decided to call the next person too. So just really being efficient with your time. Sundays, you just leave once you have your appointments booked up. So my goal is that, like, the more efficient you are, like, the less time you have to spend phone jamming and the more time you can actually spend in appointments here too. So that's the first thing, okay, is having an attack list and having that ready to roll here. Second thing, okay, is the actual phone approach, which, why is that important?
You know what you're saying.
Yeah, you know what you're going to say, okay? Now, one thing, okay, not only just knowing what you're going to say, okay, it's important to have the right phone approach for the right type of person, okay? We're going to teach you a different approach today. Like you don't want to call people that, like, you know really well and be like, hey, Ms. Jones, and act like you don't know them very well, right? You don't want to call people that you don't know really well and be like, hey, this is Andrew. I'm just giving you a quick call. I just started a new job. They're like, what are you talking about? Like, who are you? Yeah, it's not gonna go so far. So you got to have the right approach. And then even, let's say at one point you're probably going to have that approach memorized. Would it still be a good idea to have the approach in front of you? And why is that?
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case. Here's the other thing too, okay, is that we know that 55% communication is body what? Language, okay? Do you have that on the phone? No, okay? So that 38%, which is your vocals, your tonality, like how you actually sound, matters even more when you're actually on the phone. So even if you have everything memorized, which, by the way, I do and all the assistant managers do, and they all will be doing the exact same thing, and if they ever do, I'll tell them to make sure they have the approach. But the reason they still do it, even when they have the approach completely memorized, they've done it a million times, okay, is because when you just have the paper in front of you, it takes away the thinking. So you're sitting there reading the words, and all you have to do is focusing on how you sound, which is the most important thing. Versus, okay, if you're trying to do it from memory, you're walking around without the approach, right? You're like thinking about what you're trying to say. Like you're trying to like jog your memory about like what the actual approach is, the words you're trying to say, versus focusing your energy on like the real part of communication, which is how you sound on the phone. Make sense to everybody? Cool. Last thing too, by the way, I'll tell you one thing that I've noticed over the years doing this, okay, is that a lot of people might feel weird sometimes reading the approach. I promise you sound a whole lot worse not reading it, right? And all it takes is like you just have to listen to someone else in the office next time you hear someone not doing the approach and you're out about this second. All right, moving on from there. So you have your approach. Okay, by the way, if you open your manuals to page 29. All right, a lot of you I know came in with some acquaintances today, so people that you're not like super close with, they kind of know of, they kind of know of you. Okay, that is the acquaintance approach. So it's just a couple extra sentences that make it a lot more comfortable and easier to use. It's basically like the exact same thing here. Okay, but you're just like, hey, this is Andrew Evans calling. How are you? Yeah, I'm not sure if my name rings a bell, but my mom actually works with you at so-and-so, or actually go to school with your son or daughter at blank. Or, hey, I actually live down the street from you at blank. I was hoping you could help me out with something I'm doing for school. Do you have a quick second? Cool. Yeah, what I do is basically show a quick presentation to people in my community like you on a product called Cutco. You may already know about Cutco, and either way, it's a lot of fun. The best part is I get paid just to do the appointment, so there's no pressure to buy. And the more appointments I do, the better chance I have to hit my goal. So Mrs. Jones, I'm in a huge contest, and I am supposed to get 15 appointments by this Sunday, and I only need 10 more to hit my goal. So I was just hoping I could stop by real quickly on blank at blank, or would blank work better for you? And it's the exact same thing, by the way, as a normal approach. Snowball is the exact same keys. You still always have a goal and a deadline, right? Like even if you don't have it, even if you're like you're not in your fast start, there's no like deadline. You should still like, hey, on Wednesdays, hey, I'm trying to get XYZ amount of appointments booked up by Friday or by Saturday. That goes into the actual schedule. But having the right approach is important. We can role play this later if you want. You can use acquaintance. If you're still calling people that you know pretty well, you can just use specifically the training phone approach. And eventually we will teach you how to call the recommendation approach once you guys are ready and prepared for that too. It's a little bit different of an approach. Questions on any of the approaches? Alrighty, third thing, is schedule. So why is that important?
So you know when you're gonna see them.
Yeah, you know when you're gonna see them next. You know like when you're available. Okay. So the most important thing is knowing your availability so that you can offer what?
At certain times.
And specifically how many times? 2 times. Okay. Again, when you're just like, hey, are you available like Thursday afternoon sometime, or like when's a good time? Or again, you'll get a ton of people that are like, hey, yeah, I'd love to help, but like call me back when I check my schedule, or like let me double check my schedule and get back to you too. So making sure that you are actually offering 2 times is important, and you actually have to have like your schedule in front of you and make the little money signs, make the little A appointments on your slots before you actually get started and do that. We'll walk through the schedule the very last part of the day. 4th thing is firm up and objections, okay, which I'm going to go ahead and give you guys. So specifically with this group, did anyone get any cancellations your first weekend?
2 today.
All right, cool. Does anyone had any no-shows? Like you get to the appointment's house and they're not even there? All right, those are the worst. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you guys this paper right now that is really going to take care of 90% of that for you. Okay, so like literally if you're doing this and following this, you should not have any cancellations or no-shows ever like moving forward. You will get a few here and there, okay? But if you do it the right way, it's not going to be like, oh, yeah, like, sorry, we're like on the way to the grocery store. Like, it's a really busy day. Let's just do another time, okay? You get calls like, oh, my gosh, like, Julio, I am so sorry. Like, I am literally on the way to the hospital. My son just broke his leg, and like, can we do it tonight or like tomorrow? I'm just so sorry. I know this appointment's so important to you. Like, that's the calls that you get, right? Versus like, yeah, let's just do some other time, okay? So like versus people blowing you off. So it's called a firm up, which before it already says it in your manual. Okay, the firm up is like when we did the hey, write down the confirmation number, put the penny in the fridge. I'm gonna give you all a little bit more of a different firm up. Okay, it's a little bit longer, requires a little more skill set to actually take the time out to read. But this is what will help you make sure that you do not have any cancellations. So let me actually do it for you all once, and then we'll go from there. And I'll pass it out. So. All right, first things first. I don't know. Alana, can you meet Miss Jones? All right, great. So does Friday at 5:30 work for you?
Yeah, perfect.
All right, awesome, Miss Jones. Thank you so much, by the way. You don't know how much this helps me out towards the contest that I'm working towards. Now, Mrs. Susie didn't get a chance to tell me where you live. Can I get some real quick directions?
1040 Northwest 50th.
Okay, and how do I get there exactly?
So it's in Jordan, so it's inside of Theater.
Okay.
So it's right there.
All right, cool. So it's right there, and then all right, great. And then one last thing, Miss Jones, can you go ahead and grab a pen and some paper or your calendar so I can give you my confirmation number in case my manager calls?
Yeah, sure.
All right, awesome. So go ahead and write down my name again. It's Andrew Evans, and I got you down for Friday at 5:30. And then you also want to write down my confirmation number in case my boss calls, which is 43389-328. And then lastly, you just want to go ahead and draw a big smiley face on it. That way you know what I look like when I get there. All right, awesome, Ms. Jones. And can you please put that under, by the way, a magnet or on your fridge or something like that so you won't forget about me?
Okay, sure.
All right, awesome. And I'm sorry I have you go through too much trouble, but like the other day, I drove all the way out to Homestead, And when I got to the customer's house, the lady wasn't even there.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you wouldn't do anything like that, but I know that people are really busy. I just want to make it as easy as possible to remember. So thanks again for the help, Ms. Jones. You have no idea how much this helps me out towards the scholarship contest that I'm working towards. I can't wait to see you this Friday at 5:30.
Okay.
All right, awesome. So cool. All right, let me go ahead and debrief that for a second. Let me give you each one here. So go ahead and take one, pass it down.
I literally showed up to the house this morning. I woke up at 8 in the morning because it was like at 10. And, like,
She just forgot, or what happened? She wasn't there?
So it was like a community, like gated community.
Oh, you could get
So
it.
there was no security. I'm like, what the hell? Okay, so I was there like waiting for security. I honked and everything. No one opened. So I called her like, hey, like there's no security. Like what should I do? Whatever. She's like, what do you mean? Where are you? I'm like, oh, like I'm in Doral Cave. Whatever. Like there's no security. She's like, you're in Doral Cave. I'm like, yeah. Like remember we had an appointment at 10 a.m. She's like, oh, maybe I'm in the office right now. Whatever. She almost started crying on the phone with me. I was like, okay.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So this is that. Those are the worst, by the way, because you actually it's like, dude, you just wasted all the time going out there. And,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
so, all right, let me walk you all through this first, okay? You agree to the appointment time. Thank them, okay? So thank you so much, Miss Jones. Like when you thank them, they're gonna they're just gonna appreciate it more. Then you get directions, okay? Say, hey, Miss Susie, didn't tell me where to live. Give me some real quick directions. You want to ask why do you want to Here's the deal, okay? They are going to give you their address. Half these customers, you might even know where some of them live already, okay? Why do you still want them to give you directions to their house?
The more you speak to them and tell them about where they live, the more they'll remember.
Exactly. So here's the deal. You have to keep. No one's planning on canceling you. No one's like, haha, I'm gonna book up this appointment with Bryce, and then I'm just gonna cancel it tomorrow. Oh, I'm just not show up when he gets to my house. No one's actually. Ms. Jones isn't doing that. Okay, but you gotta realize when you're calling these people, they're not sitting at their home by their schedule book oh. I see you call. Let me go ahead and pencil you into the schedule. They're on the way, driving the kids to school. They're in the store. They're in the middle of cooking dinner. They're doing something else. Okay. And so they're thinking all right, Friday 5:30. Yeah, I can make that work. Sure, I'll be there. Okay. So a lot of times they're just thinking and they just forget. So when you actually have them all right, let me go ahead. Can you go ahead and give me quick directions, Ms. Jones? It's making them. And by the way, a lot of times it's a little bit awkward because your customer's all right, yeah, sounds good. But those are the people that you want to make sure you ask the most. Because you need to slow them down for a second and be all right, yeah, actually, let me give you directions to the house. Here's how it goes. And it's firming up the appointment in their mind because they're literally imagining you driving out to their house and coming there too. So it's helping them firm up the appointment. So specifically, right where it says read back directions, here's what I want you right next to that is make mistake first time. So where it says read back directions. So you say read back directions. I didn't get a chance to do this because a lot of you didn't really give me too specific directions, but usually they'll go all right, you go down this here, and then we're right, the first house on the right. So it's if Miss Jones says, hey, so you drive straight down the road, you take a right, and then we're the first house on the left. I'm all right, cool, Miss Jones, so I'll drive straight down the road, take a left, and then the first house on the right. She's no. Take a right, and then your first house on the left. I'm okay. All right, got everything down. Again, so I make a mistake the first time, and then they correct me, and then I read it back to them. So again, just firm up the appointment even more. And then you say one last thing, go ahead and drop it down. That's on my calendar. Pretty simple. You put name, date, confirmation number. Now give them your rep number. Okay, it's not 3809, but give them your actual representative number. And then the last part where it says lastly, just go ahead and put a big smiley face on it. That way you know who to look for when I come to your door. Okay, that's just a funny again. I'll tell you guys what the more cheesy jokes that you make, you might not think they're funny, but moms love them. Okay, so the more cheesy jokes when you're making that, you're taking the time out to write that, and say, Michelle, just go ahead and put a smiley face. That way you know what I look like when I get there, right? If you have some defining feature. Right, if you're super tan, or if you're I don't know, my manager used to be all right, just go ahead and draw some square glass. Go ahead and put a smiley face, draw little square glasses on it, shade it in a little bit. That's what I look like when I get there. So you can do things have fun with it. And then you're hey, by the way, can you please put that somewhere you won't forget about me? Awesome. Hey, by the way, at this point they're all right, I got it. They're I get it. You're coming over, okay? So, but the last part, this is the most important part where it says, I'm sorry to have you go through too much trouble. Go ahead and star that section, okay? That is called the sob story. The sob story. That's what we just call it. You're not going to actually tell. All right, Miss Jones, let me tell you a sob story. Okay, but you're saying a sob story. So you go, hey, Miss Jones, by the way, I'm sorry, to have you go through too much trouble, writing all that down. But just the other day, I drove all the way out to insert XYZ place really far away. I drove all the way out to Fort Lauderdale. And when I got to the customer's house, the lady wasn't even there. right? And like you want to get quiet, so like, and when I got to the customer's house, the lady wasn't even there, right? And they're usually like, oh my gosh, like no, I'll be there, like they're usually like, oh my gosh, someone did that to you, like yeah. Because obviously I know you would never do anything like that, right? So you're not trying to like make them feel bad, but they're just like, oh okay, cool. So it's like, hey, Michelle, I know you obviously never do anything like that, but you know, I know people are really busy, and I just want to make it as easy as possible to remember. So thank you again so much for the help. I can't tell you how much this has helped me out towards the scholarship contest, and I can't wait to meet with you this Friday at 5:30. Right now, when you do all these things, again, it is like second and the third times. But what happens is, again, knowing that people aren't purposely trying to cancel on you, people just get busy. You guys have all probably scheduled appointments like, oh, Thursday works great. Then you wake up Thursday morning, you're like, oh, it's like everything's crazier than you thought it was actually going to be, right? And the day's a whole lot busier. That's how most of these people feel. But when you actually do the firm up, okay, and they go to pull out their phone to text you, and they're like, oh, I had that appointment today at 5 o'clock, the kid's coming over, and they're like, I'm just going to go ahead and reschedule. They're like, shoot, like I can't reschedule. Like I told that kid like 10 times on the phone I'd be available. Like I can't miss this. Like that's how they're gonna feel, because like I firmed this up like 4 or 5 times on the phone. Like told them like I'd be there like 20 times. And so you will only have people cancel on you like absolute emergencies, and they will cancel on you asking you like when you can reschedule for, right? Versus just like let's just do it another time. So again, I realize this will take probably an extra 45 seconds to a minute to add on to your actual phone calls, okay? But the 45 seconds to a minute that it takes is a whole lot less than driving out to someone's house, right? And then getting there. Or it's a whole lot less than the 2 hours that you set aside for the appointment, and then you realize that it's not happening. Now you're just kind of sitting there doing really nothing for the time. So, you know, you've already taken the time to call them. You've already taken the time to sometimes call multiple times to actually get them on the phone. You finally booked up an appointment with them. Take the like 30 seconds to a minute that it takes to make sure that appointment's definitely happening, to avoid, you know, some like cancellation, things like that too. So I always teach this to people. Do you know Rob Catala?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's. I remember Rob Catala. He was at like when he came into this meeting, he was at like 6K in his fast start, and he finished off his fast start. He was at like I don't know, it was like 9K going into his last day, right? But he booked up all. I'd already taught him this. Okay, tried to tell him to use it, didn't use it. Okay, his last day on his job, or last day of his fast start, he booked up 7 appointments for that day. He only had to sell $1,000 left. He was like fired up and ready to. He was fired up, ready to hit it, okay? Anyways, he went out there. He had like 4 out of 5 of his appointments canceled on him. He only did like 1 or 2. He like fell a little bit short by a couple $100, okay? And if he would have just used the firm up, he probably would have actually hit it too. So don't be that guy or that girl. Like, I'm giving it to you for a reason. Use it every once in a while. I always have someone I give it to, and they just refuse to use it anyways, and then it's just wasting your own time. So that's the last key firm up. Any questions on that? On the back of the firm up, okay, is your objections. By the way, let's do a quick review here from advanced training. How do we handle an objection? The first step is to always what? Always starts with an A. Agree. Okay, so always agree. So if you look at your objection sheets, it always says, hey, Ms. Jones, I can definitely do that. Sounds great. No problem. That's great, Ms. Jones. Hey, no big deal. No problem. It's always like, hey, agree. But show what? Show better deal, show better option, present new information, and then the last step is always to what? Ask again. See how every single one of these ends in a question? Every single one probably ends in a question, right? Because again, you're just taking control of the conversation. As soon as you answer someone's question and you don't like follow it up with another question, you're now just like wait. It's like you just wait on the phone. It's like for them to give you another one. It's like, hey, Ms. Jones, yeah. So like, oh, what is Cutco? Oh, it's a bunch of nice stuff for the kitchen, and I get credit just to show it to you. So like, yeah. Like, okay, well, here you go, right? Like, you're just expecting to be like, oh, okay, perfect. Like, I can be available this time. And that sometimes happens, too, but you want to get in the habit of actually controlling the phone call. So handling objections, they're all here for you, okay? If you ever can't find them on the paper real quick and you're, like, on the middle of the phone, you're just like, oh, Ms. Jones, well, like, to go to, no problem. Hey, I totally understand. Hey, no big deal. Like, and then you can figure out where you're at. Hey, like, oh, Ms. Jones, like, well, you know, I can't just say we're here. Like, hey, Ms. Jones, like, yeah, no big deal. You know, I would love to do that, Ms. Jones, but I can't lie to my boss because it's, you know, it's quick and fun, by the way. There's no obligation, and just find where you are on the paper too. Always following up, okay? Any questions on firm up and objection? All right. Last thing, okay, is the tracker. So everyone's going to get one of these phone trackers here today. Okay, how are we doing on time? So basically, anytime you're in the office making phone calls, you get one of these. And it literally is a tracker so you can track how many calls that you're making. I always recognize people for the team meeting before it starts based on the amount of calls they make. Not how many appointments they booked up, Not what I did, just like the actual effort. Because I always appreciate the effort more than the results, because consistent effort, whether you get good or bad results, usually is the top performer. So with that said, here's how it works, okay? Has anyone ever heard of the Hawthorne Effect? No. Basically just states that like results measured are results gained, right? Like the people that go to the gym and then like track their workouts and like see how they're doing and see how they're progressing are the ones that like actually continue to get results. The people that are just kind of go and like show up and like leave when they feel like they've had like, oh, I feel like I've done a good, you know, this feels good. You know, they leave out. Those are people that go to the gym every single day and like still look like they don't go to the gym. So let me give you all some quick tracking results. So on your paper, I'll just say numbers like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here's how it works. Anytime you make a call, you just put a slash. Okay, if you call someone and they don't answer, or you call someone, excuse me, and they answer, you turn it to an X. If you call someone, they answer, and then you book up an appointment, turn it into a circle. Everyone follow along with that? So it's like, hey, made a call, no answer, made a call, and I booked up an appointment, didn't answer, answered, but they're out of town, so I couldn't book up an appointment. Hey, booked up another appointment, no answer, and you can kind of track and see how your results go. So this, again, if your paper looks like this, right? Like, what does that mean? I don't know. No, necessarily. It just means you're like actually like calling a lot of people and no one's answering, right? Okay. And it just might mean like you need to like maybe someone from the same family dinner. Maybe you need to just like make sure you're double tapping, right? Following response. You just need to increase the amount of call. And it looks like this. Okay. What does that probably mean?
They're answering you, but they're busy.
Yeah, they're answering you. And, like you're talking, getting a lot of people on the phone, but no one's making appointments with you. So like there's probably something off a little bit in your phone approach. You probably need to work on like what you're actually saying to people. You're probably not offering 2 times, something like that. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, I'd love to, but maybe later. Okay, and you can kind of, again, see how your results and see what's going well, so you can use that for next week, or see what you're doing bad so you can adjust and make better changes for the future here. But that's a tracker. Any questions on that? All right, cool. Here's the last few keys that I'll have for you guys before we finish up, is you got to have fun on the phone, okay? You got to, like, actually, like, have fun with the customer, like, enjoy it, right? Like, think about it this way. Number one, right, is they have a saying like smile while you dial, right? Like they can hear while you're smiling on the phone too. So that's the first thing, is you gotta have fun on the phone. Like if the customer is talking to you for like 3 minutes on the phone and they're like, dude, this conversation sucked, I just want, like, okay, cool, and they just want to hang up with you, right? Like, why would someone want to sit down with you for like an hour, right? If they're like talking to you for 3 minutes on the phone, they're like, this is like not fun, right? So I can't tell you how many appointments that I've booked up like by people that were like, nah, I don't know if I really can't do it. And this, again, when you're seeing people you know, it's a little bit easier, because even if they don't have fun with you on the phone, they'll still probably book the appointment with you, right? But eventually when you're calling recommendations, you actually like, you have to connect with the phone caller. You have to actually talk to them and make sure they're feeling good. Like if they don't want to, like, if you sound like you aren't, like, they sound like it's gonna be a waste of time to sit down with you for an hour, they're not gonna want to sit down with you. So having fun, like just make jokes, like enjoy yourself, like loosen up a little bit. When people ask me sometimes, like, you know, handling these objections, I'll throw in a joke before I actually handle the objection. So they're like, oh, well, how long does it take? I'm like, oh, you know, not usually too long. Usually just like 2 or 3 days. I'll just bring my sleeping bag and it shouldn't take too long at all. And they're like, what? I'm like, I'm kidding, Miss Jones. Like 45 minutes, maybe an hour. But after that, if you want me there, you can kick me out. What time works better for you? This time or this time, all right? Same thing, like, well, what are you selling? I'm like, oh, Miss Jones, it's just like a bunch of like farm animals and stuff, but I'll be able to leave them on the back porch when we get started. And they're like, wait, what? I'm like, I'm kidding, Miss Jones. It's just like a bunch of random stuff in the kitchen. But it's cool. I'll get credits to show it to you, so you don't have to get anything. But what time works better for you, this time or this time? Right? Hey, like, what are you selling? And it's like, oh, Miss Jones, it's like pogo sticks for pets. Do you want any like cats or dogs? No, okay, I'm just kidding, Miss Jones. It's just like kitchen stuff. So I can actually show it to you when I get there. So everyone kind of follow along with this. But you gotta have fun, like while you're on the phone, and like enjoy it. If you're kind of like, hey, Mrs. Jones, like if you sound talk like in a monotone voice, or you sound like super nervous, or you talk like this and you're like whispering to the phone, okay, everyone's gonna like book the appointment with you and be like dreading it before you actually come over. So have fun, enjoy it. All of y'all are people that actually are cool people, enjoy yourselves outside of it. So enjoy yourselves on the phone here. Question on any of that? Alrighty. Last thing, here's how it actually looks in terms of the setup. And then I'm going to teach you guys what you do for a phone jam. So specifically, you want to draw these boxes on your paper here. Okay, so in a second, okay, I'll talk to you guys about our team builder program tonight. If you get onto that, you can go ahead and use the desks throughout the room. You get priority for those. In the meantime, what you'll have, okay, is you'll have some demo cone chairs, which means that you'll have a chair like this. And there'll be another like kind of desk chair in front of you. So you get to post up in a desk chair right in front of you. And what you'll have is you'll have kind of like 5 sheets of paper out, right? And that's these 5 sheets of paper. You want to have your focus 5. So this is how you generally like line them up. First thing, okay, is in your hand in the center of the paper, you're gonna have your actual phone approach. Let's put it out, your phone approach. Okay, everyone got this down? Yeah. Cool. So your phone approach. In front on the paper on the chair in front of you. Okay. I usually like to put the attack list. Okay. In my lap, I'll put my schedule, so I know when to book appointments. Sorry, I can't read it right. Schedule. Okay, so I got my schedule in my lap. I got my phone approach in my hand. I got my who I'm calling there. I'll call the next person, call them. We'll book appointment and put them on my schedule. And then right usually on the sides, next to like the attack list or something like that, I will put down the firm up / objections / OBJ. Okay, and it's front and back, by the way. It has both of them on there for you. And then on the other side, I'm putting the tracker. So I'm tracking my results as I go. Okay. Last few things here. I'm gonna go ahead and pass these out, so you how to fill them out, and we'll bring you all back. Okay. So first things first. Okay, you're gonna take these Wednesday sheets. You'll get these when you put it at the top. You'll put your name, how much you sold so far for the week, what's your demo goal, your demo must. Demo must, or let me give you an example. Demo goal is like CPO must and goal. It's like, hey, I'm shooting for like 8K, but like I'm gonna make sure I get at least this much sold this week. That's like I'm committed to this. This is like my goal to hit for the week. So by the way, put realistic numbers. Okay, you can't say, hey, my demo goal is like 5 appointments and my CPO goal is like 10K. It's like, all right, good luck with that. It's probably not gonna happen, right? So make sure like your goal, your demo goal, and your CPO goal are probably aligned somewhere near each other. And then you have your set numbers, set, and goals. So specifically, okay, what I would be putting here is you would put the how many set for each day and what's your goal for each day. So first you put in, hey, my goal for Thursday is 3. My goal for Friday is 4. I don't want to do any appointments on Saturday. My goal for Sunday is 3, and I'll get like 1 or 2 on Monday, right? And then at the end of the night, key thing here, at the end of the night, I know someone's gonna mess this up, right? You will put how many you ended up getting set and what the times of those appointments are. So you're like, cool, I got 3 out of 3 on Thursday, and I have a 3 o'clock, a 5 o'clock, and a 7 o'clock. Friday, I got only 1 out of 2 appointments I wanted to get, and it's at 6 p.m., and then just walk down the list. Everyone kind of follow along with that? Cool. Let me go ahead and pass these out here real quickly. I'll give you each one of these. Okay. Last few things is you're about to enter your second weekend of your fast start. So I'll erase this board for a second here. Okay, so go ahead and open up your schedules and your manuals to page 26 and 27. Okay, we're here on Wednesday. First thing we do, okay, is Sunday, so you guys know, is the 5 o'clock PSP meeting. So that means you need to be here. By the way, that meeting is only 20 minutes long. So if you show up like 20, 30 minutes late, you're not going to even be here for the meeting. So you literally come in 4:45, 4:50. The meeting starts right at 5 o'clock. We have a quick kickoff, just kind of let everyone know where everyone's at for the week. It's like a little huddle, like a quick hoorah, and then everyone breaks off into their phone gym groups as one-on-one with the managers, and you dip out whenever you have your appointments booked up. If you don't want to stay the whole time, you just come in with your appointments already booked up for the week. You have your times, and it's like you're there for like 30 to 45 minutes tops. Other people will keep phone gym until whenever they get their appointments booked up. We will stay all the way up till 9:30 is usually when we're there on Sundays. That's the only thing you got to worry about, okay? Outside of that, maximize Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Here's what I'll tell you all, okay? Your second weekend is always bigger than your first weekend, almost every single time, as long as you book up enough appointments. Now, most of y'all did less than 5 appointments for your first weekend, so chances are almost everyone should have a bigger first weekend as long as you can get at least 5 appointments completed. But I'd be focused on getting a big goal to finish off your second weekend strong. Focus on, okay, again, your fast start contest, you will have an opportunity to win a lot of prizes while you work here. You will never have a contest as bad and as good as your fast start contest, right? You have to sell $3K to win a full entire homemaker set. So making sure you're getting to that level. A lot of you guys got double credit. $5K for all the gadgets, $7.5K for an entire signature set, right? It will never get easier than that to win a ton of stuff. Think about it. What'd you say? Double credit. A lot of y'all got double credit just for recommending people to the position on that first day. So just so you know, if you had over 150 people that you recommended, you got double credit for your whole first weekend. So anything you sold Friday, Saturday, and Sunday counted for double credit. If you had 100, Friday, Saturday, if you want
I had
50.
300.
Yeah, exactly. So you had double credit for what you sold first weekend. So to give you an example, you sold 2.5K. That means in terms of the fast start contest. Now, the 10K level, you have to actually, like to be a 10K fast start, you have to actually sell 10K. But in terms of Costco prizes, you're already at 5K. So if you sell another 2.5K during your fast start, you'll have the whole entire signature set and all the gadgets because you'll be at the $7,500 level.
All right, that's cool.
Yep. Any other questions on that? All right. I'm going to give you guys a couple quick minutes to go ahead and fill out if you have anything going on specifically, if you have another job or work, if you got classes, okay? You all, I'm not going to walk you through this on the board as much, but you all know what to do. So take a second to fill that out on Thursday and Friday, okay? And then the next thing I want you to go ahead and do is map out any A's that you have, okay? So again, it should look something like this. Usually start them Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, and you would just probably start them off. Here's two other things that I keep in mind. You might want to put into your schedule. Okay, Amy Rod is our top representative in our office. She sold over 100K last summer alone. Okay, she made over 40 grand here her first summer as a college student. Okay, so she is doing her demo, her full entire demo and presentation Friday morning. Okay, it's called the My Demo Workshop. So every single week, our top rep. Sometimes it will eventually, hopefully, if you want you all in the room, we'll be running that workshop. But we'll have our top rep, our top manager come in the presentation and do the workshop. A couple of y'all, we have some people coming to our champions clubs every single morning, 8 to 10 a.m. That's your opportunity. If you want some extra coaching from me, if you want to take it to the next level, you want to open up some advancement opportunities for yourself, like I would highly recommend getting to those workshops. Tonight, I'll talk about the biggest, most important meeting, which is going to be next Tuesday. But in the meantime, go ahead and fill out anything else you need there. If you want to do that workshop, it's going to be like 8 to 10 Friday mornings. Just put your first appointment like 10:30, and then schedule things every 2 hours apart as you're walking down here. Last thing is I'll give you guys 2 or 3 minutes here as I check in with the rest of the staff. What you want to go ahead and do is write down your demo goals for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday on the Wednesday sheet. And that's how you'll know what your phone gym goal is here. So take a quick second to fill that out. What are your goals for each day? Not how many appointments you have booked up, but what are your goals for each day? Fill it out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I'll bring you on back here.
You're recording?
Yeah, so Danny usually runs this training, but I just ran it for you guys.